G20 Finance Ministers have backed a historic deal to overhaul the way multinational companies are taxed. The reform would establish a global minimum corporate tax of at least 15%. It aims to prevent countries competing to offer the lowest tax rates to attract investment. The practice has often resulted in multinationals paying very small amounts of taxes.
We endorsed the key components of the two pillars on the allocation of taxing rights on profits of multinational enterprises and the global minimum effective corporate taxes. The G20 agreement is an important achievement that will contribute to stabilize the international tax system in the coming years. It will grant greater tax certainty and stop the race to the bottom with respect to corporate tax rates.
Well, I'm delighted to be here in Venice to build on the historic global tax agreement that we reached at the G7 in London. This agreement ensures that our tax system is fit for the digital age and, crucially, that the right companies pay the right tax in the right places. Since that G7 meeting in London, now 130 other countries have also joined the proposals, and we now need to work on finalising the details before our October meetings, so that we can indeed bring fairness to the global tax system and, crucially, ensure a good deal for British taxpayers.
Some 132 countries have already signed the framework for the tax reform. But the endorsement by the 19 biggest economies and the European Union will help ensure it becomes a reality. The final agreement is expected during G20 Leaders Summit in Rome in October. Countries including the US, France and Germany have been pressing for a higher minimum tax rate. Some nations, including Ireland, are opposed to 15% tax rate. Without the agreement of Ireland, Hungary and Estonia, the European Union cannot implement the deal. Non-government groups that have analyzed the reform have criticized it for letting rich nations keep most of the extra tax revenue. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said more work needs to be done to ensure a fairer, sustainable and inclusive tax system which results in meaningful revenue for developing countries. The minimum tax rate is expected to affect less than 10,000 major companies. However, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development estimates that the move would generate an extra $150 billion in revenue per year. The reform would initially target the most aggressive users of tax-reducing domiciles, including Google, Apple, Amazon, and Facebook. The summit in Venice witnessed protests as finance ministers from around the world gathered to address some pressing issues. Over 100 We Are the Tide protesters marched towards police roadblocks in Venice. The platform represents activists from several groups who are opposed to the G20. Protesters threw rainbow-colored smoke bombs. They clashed with police officials that prevented them from passing.